A pleasure to meet y'all at last, and welcome back to Gaming with KaijuForceNeo Facecam Specials Insurgence. So today, we got Steep, again. It has been a little bit since I had recently played Steep on, well, the PlayStation 4 per se, but also to talk about Facecam Specials Insurgence when it comes to playing this game. I mean, there are plenty of ways that I could very much, put it all together in words, but I feel like I could just let the game speak for itself. Though I probably would disagree with the part on how entertainment value could be lost at some point. Simply because I'm not really talking about the game itself as much, but I mean, I would very much try to find a game similar to this if I could. Simply because the advent of using sports games, a lot of people have played them, especially when it comes to FIFA, Madden, or NBA 2K. It's a pretty good run around. I feel like though that Steep does have a lot of unique characteristics about it, aside from the wide variety of sports to choose from, aside from the action that you can get, aside from all of the, conventional aspects. When it comes to snowboarding, all the stereotypical parts of it, it's just all the same that, puts us all together. I do feel like, though, that this game should have a lot of, I just knocked myself out. Oh my gosh, that's a long fall. That's a long way down, yeah. How would it be a knockout? It looks more like a huge deathly fall. Yeah, there you go. Flat out falling on my face. Even though I had a helmet on, I still could have snapped my neck. Oh my gosh. I missed the checkpoint. And I knocked myself out again. I can't really seem to think that, of course it would be appropriate, though, to just simply label knockout, especially if you're going at super high speeds, but even with the softest landing, it's considered a knockout. It really doesn't make that much sense. So I can't really tell why I even bother putting the wingsuit sport up, or putting on events that use the wingsuit up, when I have, zero clue why they even try to get us to play those sports. They're just simply gonna label knockout, especially when it comes to, that stuff. But I feel like that I've got a huge selection of other sports to get. There's plenty of DLC options you can get as well. You pay the extra price, and of course you can own yourself copies of the other events that can take place. For example, you can travel to the east part of Asia, and you can also select from different Olympic-based sports out there, which also include any of the other sports that you already got. But of course, many of these sports, they were available up for purchase. You could get the paragliding, you could also get the sled. You can pretty much just buy several things there. Wow, look at that. I just freaking landed and it wasn't even a knockout. Now that's the way to do it. Because even with the softest landing, though, especially when it comes to the rocket wingsuit, it was pretty much different the whole way around. Nonetheless, I still feel like that this is an enjoyable... Oh, look at that. I had such a really low angle landing, and that was still a knockout. But I still feel like that it should have the benefit of the doubt, and just, I'm just gonna have to move on. I'm gonna go on top of Mont Blanc and see where it goes from there. I feel like, though, the last time I went on Mont Blanc, I didn't really get all the way down. Wow. Oh, yeah. Another one of those tips. Like I'm gonna need to use them every time. So, let's see how I do in this. Whoa, yeah. Apparently it wants me to go as close to the ground as possible in order to achieve a certain amount of points. You get points by going as close to the ground as you can. And, oh yeah, I was pretty close to hitting that side of the cliff face, really. So, Alright. Okay. Whoa. I mean, I am pretty close to hitting something almost every single time, so... Okay, look at that. 12,892 points. That's kind of a killer. Whoa. Oh! No way. I was really close. I almost made it the whole way. I mean, I feel like that, though, I probably should just let it be, though. Because I just have no clue how else I'm going to be able to play this whole thing out. So instead, I'm just going to go somewhere else. And I'm not really bringing the wingsuit part of it again, because who knows just how bad it's going to get. So I've got a story mode on here, and I'm going to be using the snowboard for it, but I'm just basically going to be traveling around the whole mountain, down this entire slope, as long as I possibly can. So those orange columns of lights are basically going to show me different checkpoints, and likewise, I just have to simply ride through them. Let's see how far I can go. Well, I made it past one. The second one's not that far up ahead. Got a few tricks here and there. Oh yeah. Definitely would not want to fall off, because that could take away some of my points.
Holy crap!
And whoa. Oh jeez, yeah. You know, something else that probably still intrigues me is the fact that, well, ever since I made that trio of Rocket League episodes for Facecam Specials Insurgence, I haven't really gotten to a peak level of, you know, craziness that usually unfolds whenever there's a huge bundle of excitement overhead. I feel like I should get back on into it, but I feel like that it's just an instinct that I generally have in ways to where if I yell loud enough, I could disturb the peace. Man. These are instincts that many of us have, that we shouldn't yell as loud as we could, otherwise disturbing the peace would be something that could happen. Alright, so the next checkpoint is somewhere... Oh, there it is. Yeah, all those areas of ice right up there. Okay, I see it. I'm gonna crawl through it, and there we go. Okay. Oh, I fell. I fell. That was a knockout! And I had to freaking start all over again. Okay. That is just overkill. It pretty much has about the same time of mercy as a game like The Town with No Name. I mean, if you have not heard of The Town with No Name from 1992, like I have, there have been so many games I've gotten to know about from the last 45 years or so, and it's just unclear, really, if that's ever going to end. There have been so many games from the last, well, nearly 50 years that I've gotten to know about pretty well over the last 15 years of my life, at least. I mean, ever since I had my first ever PlayStation 1 console, there were so many games I got to know about on those consoles, following the times where games were released all over on certain consoles around, like Nintendo consoles, Atari, Sega, and otherwise. But, oh goodness, yeah, it fell again. Alright. Continue onwards to the next checkpoint. I mean, that was still kind of outrageous. That... Oh! I missed it! Okay. I guess I'm gonna have to walk back there and then just simply traverse through... Wow. This area here to get up to that last checkpoint. I mean, it must take hours to get from the bottom to the top side of the mountain there, but it just takes like several minutes to slide back down. I mean, there's usually supposed to be an easier way to do this, but nonetheless, I still feel like this is a pretty, wow, good amount of scenery. The graphics on this game are also pretty decent. A lot of sound effects going around. Of course, the somewhat zen-like soundtrack that was composed by a composer known only as Zikali. That's Zikali. I mean, I actually have a copy of the soundtrack itself, and looking back at it, it's still pretty nice. It almost does feel like something that's worth meditating to, even though I'm not, well, someone who does yoga and the like. Wow. So, but anyhow, though, this game right here is just like a 9.3 out of 10 at most, the way I see it. Because most of those games that are 10 out of 10 need to have more, well, variety in terms of the different categories of games that do exist. Because this game mostly just gives us action, adventure, sports, as well as, well,
this is nice.
I suppose it's that. Because otherwise, how else would, well, there was such thing as, well, the times where you end up flying on, let's say, a wingsuit and you crash into the side of the mountain and you end up getting killed. I mean, that is a game that's almost worth having, well, a mature rating, though this game is actually rated T for teens, so it would certainly make more sense. Because there is a little bit of language involved. Yeah, I have to keep transitioning to boots almost every time I get stuck on something. Which would make sense, because you can't really get out of something with a snowboard that easily. Like that. Oh, and I fell again. As soon as I just crawl in through the rocks with a snowboard, that's just how I fall over. But okay, here we go. Let's see how I can get a lot further in this game. Okay. I'm gonna fall. Yeah, I'm gonna fall. Oh, jeez. There we go. See if I can get further in here. Here we go.
I'm heading out to try and find somewhere new to check out for the
Oh
day.
gosh, yeah. This is like the final part of the stage itself. And wow, I'm most likely going to fall in this area as well. Well, that time I might have gotten lucky. Maybe this will as well. Oh, that was really close. Oh, and here I might fall again. Oh, yeah, really close again. I'm just kind of not really going as fond with those moves where... Oh, there you go. I fell again. Oh, yeah. I mean, that could probably hurt. Again, there's like a lot of points where it just never gets old to me, but in the times that, well, they end up doing something like that, I mean, that just seems really, really dangerous to simply pull off. But nonetheless, it's probably not going to be an issue for my taste, but still, I actually do feel like I can get a lot done with the last episode, because after all, this is episode number 33, and yeah, I can't really seem to just look at my eyes the same way, or my ears, because I've worked a lot this past month when it comes to, well, Facecam specials Insurgence. I mean, I've already made 24 episodes, and I'm gonna be making the 25th episode pretty soon, and then uploading it pretty soon. So, I mean, that'll be the end of that for now. But I suppose that around February or March,